welcome to What Are We Playing This Week, a show about what games you should play this week if you have absolutely no clue what to play this week. Time Travel Edition. Today I'm gonna give you a few examples of games that are all about time travel, be it through the story or through the game mechanics. Starting off with one of the best time traveling stories ever made, Soul Reaver 2, part of the Legacy of Kain series, which is by far one of the best ever made about time travel. Yes, it's better than Red Alert 2 in terms of story about time travel. In this game, you'll be playing as Raziel, a fallen warrior, former vampire, he's gonna have a surprise in this game about what he used to be, who starts off by chasing Kain back to the past in an attempt to finally get his vengeance and just ends up digging about in, a Nosgoth that wasn't all that utterly depressingly ruined. This game shows you a Nosgoth that you've never seen before in the series. A Nosgoth that isn't wretched, that isn't just destroyed. It's not ominous, it's not as if a looming threat is on the horizon ready to just destroy everything. Well, yeah, it's coming, but it's not there yet. It's a really neat contrast to the rest of the series where Nosgoth is basically screwed, foobarred. And not to give any spoilers, but Raziel is gonna have a hand or two and, basically, let's just say he's gonna have a bad time. The story is great, the gameplay is absolutely superb, some camera issues aside, in general it's a very worthy game. All of the Legacy of Kain games are, apart from Blood Moon 2 because that one sucks balls, but that would be another story. You can find Soul Reaver 2 on Steam for just €7. It's also on GOG if I'm not mistaken. Up next, it's a game that, when it was released, it was partially kinda meh, and I mean the best kind of the kind of game you look at and think it doesn't have that whoa factor that some games have. Though compared to first-person shooters nowadays, most of them it's quite a masterpiece. It's Time Shift, a game where you can travel through time and actually use time as a weapon. You can slow down, accelerate it, move it backwards, forwards, stop it, and just dick around with everyone at that time, anytime. You can take an enemy's gun and then see him just look, hey, where did my gun go? I had it right here, and now you have it, and you're pointing it at me. Are you gonna shoot me? And yes, you do shoot him because you're a bastard. You also end up fighting a giant robot spider, like this was some sort of Wild Wild West thing. What I'm saying is the game doesn't have a very well fleshed out story. They basically cobbled it together from different ideas. It's also about time travel where someone keeps going back in time and screws with the past and becomes overlord of something and you have to stop him and you basically erase your... that's another story. That's a spoiler, so I won't... actually I can say it because it's pointless. You sort of make a paradox at the end, then you erase yourself from history or something. Maybe it's supposed to have a sequel and it never did. The time manipulation part is absolutely great. It's actually better than something you'd see in Sands of Time. And if you're gonna play the new game by Remedy, Quantum Break, I really recommend giving this game a try because they're gonna have some similar ideas. This was a game made more, how shall I put it, made with more attention given to this time manipulation mechanic than to the rest of the game. It kinda shows, but it's fine, it's amusing. It's also €15, so probably wait for it to come out in a bundle or on sale soon. And speaking of games that were made basically around a single mechanic and the hell with everything else, I give you the crowning jewel of time mechanics, Akron or Akron. I could probably pronounce it Ashron or Achron. English is a very dumb made-up language that has no rules, is what I'm getting at. But this game is fantastic. This is the most innovative game you will ever play. It's also kinda bad. It's an RTS game with time manipulation mechanics. It's an RTS game. And not in the sense that you had Red Alert 2 where you could travel back in time in the story, or that you had a chronosphere that let you teleport units from one place to another. No. In this game, time is bendable. There are these things called time waves which go around the time timeline on which you play, and you have the power to send units back through that timeline, and whenever your current position in the timeline is hit by one of those waves, its effect is propagated into the future, meaning you get to play a four-dimensional strategy game. Well, I think it has air units, so yeah, it would be four-dimensional because you have width, length, height, and time. You're playing simultaneously through 4 dimensions. It's an insane game. Insanely creative, also broken as hell because the interface is kinda yeah, that's a technical term. The units aren't that well balanced, they're thrown at you before you actually understand what they are. The maps tend to be a bit not well that made. There's the odd bug or 74, and on some systems it may run like crap. It did on my old rig, haven't played it on the new one. But my god, is it creative as hell. I mean, that mechanic, given a budget, given more resources, given more people, that could make the game of the decade. That could reinvent the RTS, that could reinvent games. Because that's not a single player only feature, it's a multiplayer enabled mechanic. It is amazing and must be tried, no matter if the game is, well, not that good. That mechanic is astonishing. It also has a demo, so if you're not up to paying 20 euros for it on Steam, get the demo. That game should really be better known. I mean, we know games like Daikatana, which were at the time crap, horrible crap, compared to some recent games like the Medal of Honor ones, considerably better, but still kinda So why not give Akron a try? Well, that's it for Time Travel. See you all next week with more gaming recommendations. Also, during the course of this week with many other shows. Even one on Saturday, which I don't really have time to do, but I try anyway because I'm just that dedicated. And also hope to someday make actual money out of this so I can pay off that mobster. But that's another story. If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Or, if you thought it was horrible, then share it with your enemies and make them suffer. We shall be your weapon of vengeance. But if you liked what you saw, you could, I don't know, maybe donate, because basically YouTube is horrible at revenue, by using the link in the description, or just buy my book. It's a fantasy book about, well, a lot of stuff. I guarantee it won't suck, and if it does suck, you can find me here and complain about it. Unlike some game developers, Ubisoft, I'll actually listen to your feedback.